Hi, guys. Welcome to week 7 of environmental law. This week we are going to be learning. We're going to start on the statutes now. We've done a lot of other things, but now we're going into really how environmental law works in our country. And the first statute we're going to talk about is the National Environmental Policy Act, commonly known as NEPA. NEPA has been around since January of 1970. It was really the first big environmental lawsuit. Um, and in NEPA, the government realized that one of our big users of natural resources and perhaps abusers of natural resources is the federal government. This law is not a substantive law about, oh, you can't, endanger species or you can't use natural resources. It's a procedural law. It makes each agency assess the environmental impact of everything that they are doing and then make their decisions accordingly. So what the four things that NEPA does is it declares a national policy on the environment. The second thing it's supposed to do is promote efforts to prevent or eliminate damage to the environment. Third thing is to understand our ecological systems and natural resources, and then to establish an agency, or it's called the Council on Environmental Quality. Okay, so that doesn't really seem like much. That's the purpose, but kind of the effect is, Congress does declare an environmental policy, but also gives these action forcing provisions. There's teeth to it. So really, those are kind of your three big things, right? The declaration of the policy, the action forcing, how the policy is implemented by the government, and then establishing this Council on Environmental Quality um, to supervise, issue rules and regs, and things like that. So what NEPA does, yeah, it forces the agencies to take a look at the environmental impact of what they're doing before they take any major action. Okay, here's our policy. That's the first part, right? It is the policy of the federal government to use look at this. This is pretty strong. All practicable means and measures to create and maintain conditions under which we can, when man and nature can exist in harmony. Um, More things, again, all practicable means. So that's not everything, but everything that's kind of practical and doable. Okay, so we're a trustee. We want to make sure that Americans are safe and productive and they're living in culturally pleasing surroundings. We want to use our environment to the widest range of their beneficial uses, but not degrading them or risking health and safety to our people. Um, Preserve historic, cultural, and national aspects of our heritage, right? We're not going to uh, bulldoze the Grand Canyon or something like that. Okay, a balance. Talks about a balance between population and resource use. And enhance the quality of renewable resources. Okay, so that's where we get into, ameliorating pollution effects. Okay, and then everybody should enjoy a healthful environment. It's not creating a right, but each person should enjoy a healthful environment, and everyone has the responsibility to contribute to the environment or to the enhancement of the environment. Okay, so it's a very broad policy. We're talking about balance, but it's a little bit strong. It says, the government should use all practicable means to achieve this. And again, it ensures that the environment is always looked at before any federal project is undertaken. Okay, so that's our establishing um, the national environmental policy. The next thing it does is creates this Council for Environmental quality, the CEQ. CEQ started out as 3 people. They are appointed by the president and then approved by Congress. And they do what they can to assist the president to assess the quality of the environment. They work with federal agencies to make sure that they are complying with NEPA. They suggest new policies. Um, so they're the ones kind of writing those rules and regs regarding NEPA. Here is, I just kind of went to whitehouse.gov, the website. If has a link to the Council on Environmental Quality. This is our current chair. Her name is Brenda Mallory. But you can, go to, we can go to whitehouse.gov. And there is, I did /gov. There is a page dedicated to the CEQ on the White House page. So it's pretty well tied in with the White House. So where is it? Menu, administration. I mean, it's /CEQ. Right, here's our council. It was created by NEPA. And, they have an internship program if anybody's interested in maybe working for CEQ, how you send FOIA requests to them. And then they do have a page on news and updates, which actually I was going to go to right now. So there is a news. So, where is that? I think I also attached this to the module. So the CEQ highlights of their, the progress in the Biden administration. So I believe that's what I posted for you. But there is a, kind of a what we've done in this administration under the CEQ posted to the module. So you can look at that on your own little time. So again, we have our CEQ, which is appointed by president, approved by Congress. They, all right, we did that. Okay. So what the CEQ did right after NEPA was they issued regulations that require all federal agencies to incorporate NEPA requirements into all their plans at the inception. So the beginning of the project, federal agencies have to comply with NEPA. Okay. And there is systematic approach. And one of the things that they really want you to do is think of environmentally friendly alternatives to what's the easiest thing to do. Like, well, what's a way we can do that doesn't affect the environment in a negative fashion? Okay. It's mandatory for all federal agencies. All federal agencies have to comply with these NEPA requirements. Okay. Not state agencies, not individual corporations, not people, but all federal agencies. The EPA does get some exemptions from NEPA, but anything because their job is to regulate the environment, but they have to comply with NEPA for any research and development, any building projects, and when they're issuing their permits under the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act. Okay, so it's unique, right? They're not saying you have to, I don't know, that you have to do something affirmatively or stop doing something affirmatively. It's just procedural. There's no specific scientific standards. You just have to consider the environmental aspects. Okay, so here's an example. Oh, wait, am I stopping? I might be stopping already. All right, I'm stopping because we were talking about the CEQ. And as I get one of the kind of our themes in this module is how our leadership through the past few presidents have used, regulations and executive orders to change environmental policy. And I think of it as like ping pong. It goes one way, it goes the other way, it goes one way and the other way. So, just also as something fun and interesting to do for your assignment today. It's not, was it the, yeah, for your assignment, there are, I've attached in the assignment some proposed CEQ regulations. Now, these were proposed under, in the Trump administration. So they're not like currently out there. But I want you to look at the proposed regulations. And one of the things that President Trump did not like about NEPA was that it slowed down progress because people had to do a lot of work um, complying with NEPA, agencies did, before they could actually have federal projects started. So he wanted to shorten the time frame for NEPA compliance. So that's the kind of the essence of these regs. And one of the nice things about any agency action is that one of the first things that once they've come up with what they think good regulations should be, is they have to publish these regulations in the Federal Register, and the public has an opportunity to comment on whatever regulations. So it's not just like it's every federal agency. Any proposed regulations are out there before they become finalized, and the public has an opportunity to comment. And it's really easy these days. You go to regulations.gov, and then you can kind of see which ones are open for comment now, but then you issue a comment. So that's what your assignment is going to be, is to look at those proposed regulations, um, see if you agree with them, see if you disagree with them, and write a comment. And if you agree, say why. If you disagree, say why. I have kind of like an outline of the things that the comment should include. But I figured I'd put that at this point in the module because we're learning about the CEQ, and these are proposed CEQ regs. So I'm going to stop this one, and I am going to have you take a look at that. All right, I'll see you in a bit.